Thank you. I am a bit of an interloper. I wasn't really scheduled to speak, and I was looking forward to imbibing some insight. One of the advantages of going last is that you don't have to speak for too long. You've run out of time. Also, everything that needs to be said has been said. So I really do not have much to say. I'm conscious that this whole theme that we are looking at today is dictated by the needs of a country like India and similar nations, different parts of the world, for somehow channelizing the needs of the population for productive purposes and getting the nation to be strengthened in the process. We talk about improving the gross enrollment ratio. So what we are talking about is somehow getting larger numbers into our educational institutions and then somehow pitching them forward into the real world. So we are really just a conduit where people pass through us and somehow they are enabled to do something productive in the world. And in this process, we become the arbiters of the faith, the educational institutions. And that is coupled with a madness for something that the rest of the world wants. There is a kind of herd mentality. And I honestly don't have the answers for this, but I want to bring them to your notice, the issues at hand. I agree with everything that my predecessors have said, and they may help, the things they said may help throw light on the problems I put before you. But my university keeps getting mentioned a lot, all over the place. Everybody seems to want to study here. And you cannot accommodate the whole of India into one university. But sometimes I get the feeling that's what's happening. We have had students coming from all parts of the country and many from abroad. And it's impossible to handle. And I've asked myself, why are they doing this? Because as some of my predecessors said, there are so many other institutions where the seats are lying vacant. Why are they doing this? So there is this herd mentality and there is this lurking fear that if I don't get this stamp, I may not be able to move forward in life. And this doesn't happen from just outside the university. Within the university, people struggle to get into only certain colleges because they want that stamp. Even that herd mentality prevails once they're in the system. And there are many institutions all around Delhi, and they offer fine courses, much finer sometimes than what my university offers. I will name just one, the Ambedkar University, set up by the government of Delhi for the liberal arts and humanities. And at the undergraduate level, they've created some really fine programs. And what do I mean by that? So look, let us first ask ourselves, what is education all about? And to my mind, it has only one purpose: to allow each individual to discover himself or herself from within. As they say in Hindi, antaratma ki khoj hai. It's a search within. And you find your calling. It's a drumbeat. And then you march to that. And if you march in harmony with that drumbeat, everything else will become secondary. And let me illustrate. So, to my mind, by this definition, Sachin Tendulkar, who probably doesn't even have a school degree, or he may, but nothing more than that, to my mind, he is far more educated than many people who take degrees from my university, many people who work in my university. Because he's found his calling in life, he has no certification, he has nothing. But he's found his calling in life, and that he has marched in harmony to that drumbeat, And he has succeeded by any yardstick. I do not know what yardstick to use, because he discharges his responsibilities towards society. He excels in chosen realm of endeavor. He is a sober human being, does not put his foot in his mouth, and is a bit of a role model for so many people, including all members of the Indian national cricket team. I have not heard a single member say anything disparaging about him over the last 15, 20 years. That's a stupendous record. But he has no degree, no certification, nothing. Srinivas Ramanujan, probably one of the greatest mathematicians the world will ever see, couldn't secure a degree at the University of Madras. They kept failing him in English. I have looked at the letters Ramanujan wrote during that period when he was in Madras, Chennai. Letters that he wrote to many fellow mathematicians. They are in impeccable English. I have no idea why they were failing him in English. But they kept failing him. So let us look at the faults within. If somehow we could remove some of these impediments, and I'm not asking you to lower standards. I'm not asking you to remove barriers that will not enable a person. But I'm asking you to re-look and think about this. We talk of these institutions like, as I said, we are the sole arbiters of the faith in education. My God, the amount of darkness I have seen prevailing inside most educational institutions the world over horrifies me. Do you know that when Gandhiji went for the Round Table Conference to England, 12 of the finest minds of Oxford University sat with him for a whole day to figure this man out, this half-naked fakir. And do you know, each one of them records that this is a hopeless case. This is how Oxford University speaks of Mahatma Gandhi. And we run after Oxford. And we want those degrees. You stop that and your gross enrollment ratio will go up. No one seems to care. We run after a Harvard MBA in finance. Harvard, with all the so-called resources, intellectual, technological, and otherwise, messed up its entire financial structure in the stock market collapse that took place, the financial collapse that took place. Not one person there could foresee what was going to happen in the financial world. A layperson like me could hear the buzz for years on end that there's going to be a problem, there's going to be a collapse. But Harvard couldn't. They froze their salaries for more than a year.